How are you doing? Okay, good. I want you to take a note of this date which I'm going to share with you. I think while introducing, they forgot the topic on which I'm going to address the gathering today. The topic is going to be something very interesting for those who watch science fiction movies. How many of you have watched Steven Spielberg movies? Do you know one of the best movies that he made? It was called Back to the Future. Back to the Future is the topic that I'm going to take. There is a specific reason. I want you to make a note of this date in your notebook or in your memory right now. 1st of May 2028. 1st of May 2028. There is a specific reason to that. In all probabilities, by the time when you graduate out of this college, with flying colors, and all of you hopefully getting the prime package that they are talking about, 11 lakhs and plus. Maybe with the inflation it might have gone up. If possible, I want at least 10 to 20% of those passing out to start your own companies and become entrepreneurs. If I see 20% of you there, I would like to give them a round of applause right now. How many of you have the guts to say that I want to become an entrepreneur when I graduate out of the college? Raise your hands. About 8? That's all? Okay, a lot of work to be done, I guess. 1st of May 2028 also happens to be the Labor Day. Normally they say that you need to have the fruit of the labor, the work that you put in. Your director, Dr. Dattatreya, your principal, Dr. Srinivasulu, your freshman head, Dr. Subramaniam, kept talking about putting in hard work. Of course, I would like to add the word smart work to that. We'll see what is smart work. If you put in the smart work and hard work, when you graduate out, in all probability, if the date is going to be 1st of May 2028, and if God willing, let's see whether we can meet for the pass out session on that day, when we'll see a future that is being carved out, for which the seed is being shown today. Back to the Future, if you really know the story of the movie, it is about an incident that happens in the present. And through the use of a time machine, they go back in time, make certain corrections, and then they come back to the present to see that the impact of the change has happened and they are actually benefiting from the change that they did in the past. Recently, I was reading an article of a science fiction based novel where the person actually goes back in time by about 150 years and buys 1 gram of gold. Just 1 gram of gold. And 150 years later, on the given day, he literally owns the entire earth. That is the value of compounding income, in case you didn't know. What is this Back to the Future here we are talking about? Let me share one small story that I read several years ago, specifically I share students. All of us would have seen the elephant in the temple specifically. If you observe it closely, you will find that the temple is chained to a wall using a very simple, normal rope made of thread. If you really look at the story of an elephant, when it is born, when it is just a calf, it starts growing. What the mahout does is, he chains the elephant, the calf, to the wall with an iron chain. Being a small elephant, what it does is it keeps kicking. At some point of time, the power of the elephant, when it is quite young, is not that strong enough for it to escape. As they say, unshackling from the chain. So it stops at some point of time, giving up that I am not going to be able to escape. When the mahout understands that this is what the time is for me now, because now the elephant has been completely chained, not physically but mentally. What he does is he removes the iron chain and then ties it with a normal rope. For the rest of the life, the elephant does not unshackle itself because it has programmed itself in the head that I am not going to be able to break this chain at all. Forgetting that the chain has been removed now, a rope has been put in its place. almost all the people I meet in life, specifically the students whom I see across here, you are like that chained elephant. All you have right now is a rope as a chain between you and the wall, and the mahut with a small stick in his hand. And the mahut with the stick in the hand is the world outside of you. What is this world outside of you? Which keeps telling you this is how you have to live. This is what you can do. This is what you cannot do. This is what the rights and wrong of life is. And you have been programmed to live a life which is not yours. Let me go back to the same date again. 1st of May, 20. I just want to know how many of you are listening. 2028. If I am making a movie today, and it is based on my current life, which is what I am living on this date, which is 7th of August 2024, in all probabilities, 99.9999% of the people, not only here in the world, are living a life for which the script has been written by someone else. Today, watch a famous, successful movie. You will find that the hero is doing so many things heroic. He wins, he marries the heroine, kills the villain, and in the climax he wins. But how many of us know that the hero has no freedom whatsoever to write a script on his own? He has to act in front of the camera the way the director or the scriptwriter or the producer wants him to. He has to cry, he has to laugh, he has to smile, he has to dance, he has to fight based on the script given by the world. Here, which is the director. Which is what is happening to almost all of us, with an exception of 0.01% people who are outside in the world. I'll come to that a bit later. If you really want to write a script where the climax scene, specifically of your life, has to be based on what your life has to be. On 1st of May 2028, if there is going to be a climax scene enacted in your life, which the world has to see, your life is the movie and the world is the audience. If you allow the world to write the script that you have to live, what is likely to happen is that they will also decide whether you are successful or a failure. Ideally, in my life, when I learned this 30, 40 years ago, I decided that I will write the script of what my life has to be. Nobody else has to decide that my life has to be like this. Whether it's successful or not